Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Randy, with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic video today. In today's video, we're talking about Sea of Conquest. We are covering the 6-ship combo that I am enjoying running here for you today. We're going to take a quick look at a report, and then I'm going to fast forward, or I should say rewind, to an actual review of the build itself, going through step by step what's on every ship. And the reason I'm doing it in reverse order is because as we were making this video, we were featuring a few different reports with a few different examples, and we were attacked by about 15 people in the midst of making that video. Therefore, I had to cut it short, fight those people, and go back and do a new intro that you're seeing now. So it's very exciting. This is the report that happened. This is BW against NOX here in Season 4 with a 6-ship combo. I'm just going to show you the results of the report itself, and then you're going to get to see in detail what the actual combat looks like and what the actual build looks like step by step for your 6-ship combo here at level 40+. If you are not yet at level 40+, that is totally fine. I'll be making more 37, 38, and even some free-to-play content coming up very soon. So get excited. We have a lot of great stuff happening here. Here we go. So the actual build itself, you can see at a high level from the heroes. You can clearly see that I have my standard support ship that I've been running with Wandelia and Tanaka here on the Stormbringer. I moved it off the Crimson Sentinel, and now I'm running Barnacle, Chero, and Adeline on the 6th ship. Let's take a look at the actual performance of this build. And again, this is not me killing auto traders. This is actually, like I said, about 15 people trying to kill me, and I was able to kind of kite them around and kill them and keep dragging them around while staying in combat and just massacring them. So obviously the top damage for this build is going to be the cutthroat damage. This is the biggest damage dealer. Ironically, they're all almost identical damage. We already know that the cutthroat meta is the biggest damage dealer, and once you unlock a 6th ship, you have a place now where you can put one of every type of damage. So I'm already using every damage type pretty much here, okay? And that just means that by default, you're going to have a ship that does more cutthroat damage. So for those of you that are like me that wanted to break the meta and not use cutthroat, with the 6th ship, it sort of makes it challenging because you have to put heroes on another ship. But what we've been able to do is really play around with these last couple ships, which we'll talk about later on in the actual build. So Cutthroat was the top damage. Strategic was also fantastic damage here. Okay. Next we have the artillery damage and a 6-star Ricky out-damaging a 12-star Sharky. That is just insane. Ricky is an absolute monster. The ship itself, which we'll talk about the skills that are on this ship in a minute, these skills really help the ship become a massive damage dealer itself. Okay, last we have, or I should say next we have the Stormbringer support build, which is a very special build. This is nothing you've seen before. I can almost promise you that, so get excited for that. And then, finally, this is the 6th ship performance. And, interestingly, you already know Adeline is a thunder cannon. We already know Barnacle is a piece of doo-doo as far as damage output, but he brings great utility and rage debuffs to the enemy. But Chero, keeping up with Adeline's cannon power. This is really exciting for me because I did not want to take off Sharky on my artillery ship. Sharky is my one true love, and one of my true loves, I should say. And there's no way I'm going to sacrifice 4.9 million, 49 million damage in order to get 54 million damage, and then have, you know, a piece of poop on this Crimson Sentinel. So I think we made a great combination here. Let's get into the actual detailed breakdown of the build. Feel free to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, folks. And Randy, moving into the build! Let's go into the build itself and show you the detailed look. So, of course, we have the Ahab Obi Magnus comp. Obi is really, really powerful. He can work in two ways. One, you can have him on the flagship, okay? You can have him with his trinket, where he's going to provide a ton of armor for the flagship, and he's going to apply a little bit of stacking shield. Now, this sounds like a lot. It sounds like a crazy amount of shielding, but it only has a 30% chance to trigger on basic attack, okay? and it's only giving me 600% of my armor as shielding. That means that is only going to be a 6 multiple on this 14,000 armor, which is not nothing, but it's not that much, okay? So that is going to be about 85,000 plus or minus shielding per stack. You can stack 3 times, but it may drop off fairly quickly if you're actually taking damage on the flagship. So it's better than nothing, but you don't have to have this trinket if you don't want. You will still get great value from having the standard Eagle Shield, and it'll give you more aggro. So it's really up to you what you're going to run, okay? On the Warhammer, we're using Bones, Onimusha, and Luna. We are going to be using the same old trick ultimate because this is going to copy the highest damage cutthroat ultimate in the past couple seconds and apply it every 10 seconds on the enemy ships. It is going to be fantastic. You are going to run with really high impact on this build. You're going to want super high impact so you penetrate the enemy's armor, and that is going to be done through Blade of Freedom, okay? Then we have the Orii. Now, you could have purchased the Orii pack, or you could have built one like I did. I happen to build one that is running with the Annihilation specialization. That means when Griffin attacks an enemy fleet that happens to have more than 5 or more ships in the enemy fleet, I will get 30% bonus strategic damage for my ship. So when Griffin cannons somebody into their face, this is a 30% damage bonus. This will, of course, drop as I kill ships in the enemy fleet. And then we have Impact, okay? Enhanced Armor Piercing. This is ship, attack, and impact. This is really powerful. Next, we have Stealthy Maneuvers. I could have rolled this off the ship, but I have decided to leave this on the ship, okay? And I will give a shout out to Pralex, because we've been looking into some things here. And you already know that I mess around with aggro and bait ships all the time. And now we're testing aggro on this particular ship. All right, and last we have Art of War on this ship, which is some more attack percentages. This, again, I could have re-rolled and got a 12% attack instead of 10, or maybe a 12% damage roll, but this really isn't too bad. I'm going to leave it how it is for now. This ship hits like a cannon, the Griffin, Boa, Letitia, Miller combo. Griffin is going to absolutely rock everybody's socks off with his ultimate, as you already know, plus his free ultimate's going to come from doing 20 instances of strategic damage. He is going to get a lot of benefits by partnering with Boa. Previously, I have taken Onimusha off of this ship and put Onimusha in Boa's position. That build is also very powerful. However, I will say this. Letitia Miller does not trigger a lot of strategic damage early in the fight. Her ultimate happens after Griffin's ultimate. So if you do run Griffin with Onimusha, you may want to run Molly instead of Letitia Miller. Molly is going to help you activate Griffin's ultimate a little bit faster from precision commands, whereas, like I said, Letitia Miller has great nukes, but she costs 1,200 rage to use her nuke instead of the standard 800. But this version of the build gets to benefit from the crazy high, bonus. I can't find the right skill. The crazy high impact right here that she gives to her fleet, but also she gives a fantastic stacking attack bonus, 16% attack, okay? And it's going to be really powerful once she starts rocking and rolling here. Gives great benefits to Griffin and Boa as well, okay? So we traded one support damage hero for another support damage hero, and it's fairly comparable in actual damage output. For the artillery build, this is the Ophelia Sharky Ricky combo. You may be asking yourself, Randy, why don't you have Chizuru on the artillery ship? Well, let's talk about that for a minute, okay? The Sharky Ricky combo is maybe one of the best hero pairings for synergy in the game after Lester and Tanaka. The Sharky Ricky combo is so incredibly strong because you have Sharky triggering... Sharky triggering artillery damage every time the ship does basic attacks. You have Sharky causing the ship to do bonus basic attacks. You have Sharky causing the ship to do more bonus basic attacks when he triggers his ultimate. And then you have Ricky over here, who is also triggering a disgusting number of basic attacks through his combo skill. I only have Ricky at 6 stars here, but he is still a rock star. He still is competing with Sharky in damage, and he is boosting Sharky's damage dramatically. Now, the reason why I have this pair on this particular ship instead of another ship is because I am focusing on basic attack damage for this ship. I am not using the Queen of Revenge set. I'm using Blade of Freedom on this ship so I get more damage out of my basic attacks. I also happen to have the basic attack and splash damage trigger from New Age ammunition. This is going to snowball with Sharky really nicely. So every time Sharky triggers these bonus basic attacks and Ricky triggers these bonus basic attacks, you're going to trigger another bonus basic attack from New Age ammunition, and all of these basic attacks are going to do splash damage to the enemy. All the basic attacks also have this 70% damage bonus from heavy artillery and some other great skills, including Deadly Broadside and one of my favorite skills of all time, Defensively Offensive. This will help my ship not die as quickly while still doing great damage at full health. Okay? Into the Stormbringer. Now, this is the ship I really want to spend a few minutes on because this ship is super interesting. You may not have ever seen anything quite like this before. I think I'm pioneering it here for this video. Maybe I'm not. If you know other content creators that have done this or other players, feel free to share and I will give them credit in a future video. However, here we have the famous Wandalia combo that I've been running for a couple seasons now. We've got Tanaka sandwiched in the middle. Previously, we had this build on the Crimson Sentinel. We have moved it onto the Stormbringer. I crafted another Stormbringer. This Stormbringer happens to have severe damage. Severe damage combined with Tanaka means I'll be reducing the really as many ships as I apply the take damage over time on, but every time Tanaka does an ultimate, he applies damage over time to 5 ships. That means for the next 10 seconds, every 5 seconds, for 3 seconds, those 5 ships will have 48% lower impact. This means they are going to be doing disgustingly lower damage. And I don't have to run as tanky gear sets on my ships. That's why you are seeing Blade of Freedom on all these ships. Instead of Sovereign of the Sea or Yamada like you know I love to run, I'm able to run Blade of Freedom and have lower armor because guess what? If I'm reducing... Oh, I'm dying. Oh, I'm being attacked by a lot of people. Look at that. Let's kite, and then we'll talk more about the build. Oh, they're all here. Look, their whole team's here. Let me stay in combat. Come back. And we're staying in combat. I'm going to wipe this whole group right now, guys. Here we go. Here we go. You're going to get to witness the death and destruction live. Here it is. They thought they were going to come get me. Not today, ladies and gentlemen. Not today. Here comes the pain. Here comes the pain. Come get some. You're all here. Oh, their whole team's here. Oh, they're letting me just stay in combat. Oh, I'm going to wipe the whole alliance. Oh, my God. You're next, Squirrely. Come here. I don't even know if he's online, but he's going to die now. He's going down. Look at the damage output. We'll take a look at this report, too, afterwards, guys. This is such a fun. So keep this in mind. Every time Tanaka actually ultimates somebody, that means that person is doing almost no damage for the next 3 seconds because I will be triggering. Oh, yeah, I'm killing the whole... Oh, they're all trying. Look at this. Come on over. Let me get a little space between myself and the dock. While I am happy to kill all these people, there is a lot of them, and I'm just going to go ahead and give myself slightly more room to generate more rage in between them stacking directly on my face. And I have to kill Vox next because he's starting to deal some real damage. We may go down here, but this is an example of some fantastic action. I'm going to go ahead and kite now. We're going to kite a little bit. Come here, whatever your name is. And this is the build really working well against lots of numbers. We are able to drag them out, stay in combat, completely massacre the enemies, and it's been fantastic. And now, they are still coming in hot. So I'm going to go ahead and kite a little bit here. Again, I'm gaining some distance so I can keep building some rage. We're building the rage, and now I'm going to turn around and slap them. There goes this one. Let's go get the next one. I don't want to drop combat. Hey, I'll stay here all day. I'll stay in combat all day. Come here. Come back. Come back. We're still in combat. There goes another one. Oh, they're coming back out. They're coming back out. Oh, God. We might go down here. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. We're still killing people. Oh, they hooked me. Oh, this could be a death. We could see a death coming in soon. Let's kill Lord Ral because he's a friend of mine. Shout out to Lord Ral. He's actually in our Discord. He is one of my viewers. He's in the RTS Mobile Discord. He's a friend of mine, and I will happily let him kill me. This is going to be a good and this is the strategy that we like to do. This is going to be a great stress test for this build. I can really show you some great damage weighted over time averages, because as you saw, I was able to keep all my ships alive for a long time. Oh goodness, is this, oh god, is the game crashing? There have been some serious problems with the servers lately. The game has been crashing almost after every major fight like this. I wouldn't be surprised if I have to restart. Oh, we got the report. Look at this, 46,000 kills, guys. This is a pretty good kill-death ratio. I'm here for it. I'm in it. Let's go. You got no complaints from me. I just hope it loads today so I can open it. As Tanaka debuffs the enemy, he is debuffing them both with his burning damage over time abilities. He's also debuffing them with the lower impact. And also, since I'm using Fury of the Storm ship parts on Tanaka's ship, as this report is still lagging, I can't even click it. The Fury of the Storm is also every 2 seconds adding a stack of -5% armor to all of those ships. So Tanaka is lowering their impact and lowering their armor at the same time. I did play around with putting Drowning on this ship and going for a double armor reduction debuff. However, applying Taking on Water with Barnacle and Adeline is much more unreliable than Tanaka. Tanaka applies burning stacks every single ultimate to 5 enemy ships, 3 burning stacks, and he's basically, you know, the king of the mountain as far as debuff application. So he's much more reliable in that output. Look at this! This is a great example of how this build works. Oh, I'm so happy we got this big report. Thank you to Nox. Shout out to you guys for attacking me while I was making a video. This report really shows this build performing well over time. And you are going to get to see this Chizuru competing with Adeline in damage output, neck and neck with the cannon. Here today, dominating the enemies, ladies and gentle folks. Look at that, okay? So not only does this build debuff everybody into the ground, Tanaka himself does pretty stellar damage, okay? Because he's self-activating his own Tanaka trinket every time he triggers an ultimate. After his 7 stacks of foresight, he's activating his trinket every ultimate, which is almost doubling the damage he's dealing. Okay? Then you have all of the healing coming from Cordelia and Wanda. You have the disgusting amount of rage generation coming from Wanda. So at the end of the day, you are still really benefiting from having Tanaka on this ship. He's doing great damage. He's debuffing the enemy into the ground. They're lowering their damage into the ground. And then you have the Barnacle, Chizuru, Wanda combo at the end, just mopping up the floor. And I'm going to go ahead and share this report into BW because that was good. I'll also share it into the Alliance because that seems like a good place to go. Okay, and let's go back to the build itself and let's take a look at Chizuru. I want to show you folks why Chizuru is so amazing. Chizuru is a massive nuker, and I've seen a lot of complaints about her in Discord in the past few days about how she's nerfed and she's terrible. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're full of shit if you think she's nerfed and terrible. As you probably just witnessed in this report right now, she massacred these guys like there's no tomorrow. Okay? And she is on a drowning ship. Adeline is getting all the damage bonuses from the 15% damage bonuses from Death's Dominion. She is getting bonuses from being on the ship with Barnacle. And as you can see, I've actually taken off Adeline's trinket and put on Attack. This is something that's interesting I want to point out to you. Since I'm focusing on Chizuru being a very similar nuker to Adeline, Chizuru is going to benefit, and so is Adeline, from this plus attack. What I'm trading is all of this bonus attack for Chizuru in exchange for the drowning taking on water damage procs that Adeline will be triggering from her trinket. This is a decent amount of damage that you're losing by dropping this trinket. However, Chizuru's damage is so great that it makes up for it by running the attack trinket. However, I will say either one of these builds will work, whether you have the Spyglass or you have Adeline's trinket. They are both going to be very strong. Now, Chizuru is, like I said, almost like a support hero. She applies some interesting bonuses to her ship. First of all, she applies 17% damage to her ship after every 5 basic attacks, okay? She also applies artillery damage to her ship. This is really going to only help her, but she's going to give the ship some good bonuses, okay? And she is going to give boosts to her own ultimate every time the ship does a basic attack, okay? So that's another reason I don't want her on my artillery ship with heavy artillery, because with heavy artillery, you're lengthening the duration of your basic attacks, which means less basic attacks. So having her combined on this particular ship, she is still getting maximum benefit from her deliberation ability here, okay? And she is going to trigger a bunch of bonus basic attacks every time she actually does trigger her ultimate. Her ultimate itself is a massive nuker. It hits 5 ships. It does incredible damage after a 3-second charge. It actually has similar damage to Griffin's overall nukes, and as you saw, she was neck and neck with Adeline. This pairs nicely with Barnacle for the following reasons. One, Barnacle is a strong debuffing hero, so now we're leaning further into these debuffs, right? He's going to debuff the enemy's ships, causing them to have 200 reduced rage. This is also going to lower their damage dramatically while boosting my own damage, and therefore really powerful. In addition to that, Barnacle is going to apply Taking on Water, which is going to give rage bonuses to Adeline. Adeline gets a small amount of rage every time you apply Taking on Water, okay? And here at 12 stars, that is a total of 10 rage. So she's going to get 30 rage when Barnacle drops an ultimate. She's going to get maybe 20, 30 rage when she drops an ultimate. It's going to help her trigger more ultimates faster while not being on a rage generation ship. Oh, I have to correct myself. She's going to get 6 stacks of Taking on Water from Barnacle. So actually 60 rage every time Barnacle ultimates, plus another 20, 30 every time she ultimates. So you're going to see maybe 90 to 100 rage generation on Adeline specifically whenever she does that work. So she'll be triggering more ultimates, which is great. She'll be getting 17% damage bonus from my R10 Chero, right? This is going to be super powerful. And in general, they'll be triggering Barnacle's ability here to deal bonus basic attacks. Bonus basic attack damage. I can't even say this right. On basic attack, a 30% chance to do 100% drowning damage. So you'll be triggering this from Barnacle very often. You'll be giving tons of rage generation to Adeline, and you're going to be benefiting Chero as she gives support to the whole ship. Okay, so there is a lot of stuff going on with this weird build, and as you just saw in that report, this build performed very, very nicely, just as well as my completely wailed out murderous builds from the Warhammer strategic ship and the artillery ship. So all these builds have done great work. If I can actually open that report again, I would love to show you the artillery damage spread. And now we're probably getting on close to 20, 24, 25 minutes. So if you're still here with me in this video, please feel free to post 25 Randy in the comments below. You know what I'm looking for. All right, the damage finally loaded, or the report finally loaded, I should say, after several minutes of waiting. And I'm going to show you the damage breakdown between the 2 artillery ships here. So obviously you have Ricky just thunder cannoning people into the ground. You have Griffin, still the #1 damage dealer between the 2 of them, but Ricky is a close second. And this is what I'm talking about. This Ricky-Sharky combo, combined with splash damage on the basic attacks, puts a disgusting amount of damage onto this artillery ship. It's almost disgusting when you think about the fact that there's literally 2 different people on this ship, well, the ship and 1 person, dealing over 60 million damage in this fight. It's a monster of a build. Cutthroat is Cutthroat. It is the meta for a reason. With 6 ships, there's not many reasons, okay, as long as you're using Letitia Miller on strategic, and I'm using Adeline in this weird Chizuru build. Unfortunately, that means I have to run the meta. I have 6 ships. I can't do as much weird stuff, as weird as that sounds. You'd think I'd have more options, but I actually have to do some more streamlined things in order to do some funky stuff with the bottom 2 ships. So even though we're running the meta and it is the highest damage dealing ship on the field, which we already know, it is going to be. The fact that I'm able to really compete with it with my artillery build really says a lot. And the fact that these two weird hybrid builds also are doing fantastic damage and providing disgusting utility, right, really makes this build shine. So, if you have enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. We will be posting more great content soon. There's a stream later tonight. Randy, out. Oh, and thank you to Pax